first couple of games of the season, Jabari Ricey's already up to 5 sacks, and I believe that's #1 in the country so far. What have you seen out of him, not only in these first couple of games, but also if you think back to the training camp, was there something that he kind of unlocked, to get to the level that he's playing at right now?
I think it's a really good question. I think the biggest thing is Jabari's finally completely healthy, which has made a huge difference in his approach and the number of reps he gets in practice. And because he's healthy, he's a problem when he's healthy. He's athletic and strong and long and does a lot of things that other guys at 295 pounds can do. He does things differently. A lot of it also, I think we can owe a lot of credit to Jimmy Lindsey and Cam Spence. They've spent a lot of time with him. We watched a ton of tape with him. I think that we're in a perfect situation in our defensive line room, and then we've got 3 really good coaches that we can spread that teaching out across. And Jabari he hasn't made a quantum leap, but what he has done is he's been healthy enough to go out and perform in practice, and he's taking those practice reps to the game, and that's made a huge difference in his production.
You mentioned that level of athleticism. I guess I had to ask about the sack game in the first game when he's actually winning the pros. I guess from our perspective, seeing someone at that size kind of moving as fast as he did, do you see that level of it, behind the scenes,
Every single day. The guys in the weight room see it every single day. I see it every day in practice, an individual, in small group work, and in team. No, he's different than a lot of them. He's not your typical grunt defensive tackle. He's a guy that is a problem in a one-on-one pass rush situation. He's a problem on the line movement in the run game, and he's athletic enough to do his job early in the down and make plays late in the down, which is what you hoped from the very beginning with Jabari. It's great that he's healthy, he's able to do it.
And just building off of that real quick, if you don't mind, AJ, has it been any sort of a challenge to figure out where he fits best? Because he's played the DN spot because of his athleticism and frame and everything. When you're talking about him not being a grunt defensive tackle, has that been any sort of a challenge to figure out where to put him?
Well, no, it hasn't been, because we've got a really strong room across our depth chart. It's a strong group, so we're doing everything we can to make sure we have 4 really good players on the field for every snap that we're out there. Right now, I can't put Des Evans on the bench, and I can't. Bo Atkinson has earned his opportunities, and Jacoby Cowan is earning his opportunities, and the best place for Jabari to impact games right now is in there as the 3 technique, and he's impacting games. He's changing plays, and then he's impacting games, those are the 2 things that our 3 techniques need to do.
He told us the other night that he's getting on the ball quicker than he did before. So it's a matter of health. What else has he worked on in order to get off the ball quicker? Is it not a little lower? Is it stronger? Or is it, what can you think?
Well, I know this. I think that a lot of times guys get really nervous about making a mistake. We've tried to take some of that pressure off of our guys. We want to make our mistakes full speed when we do make them. I think that I've encouraged them to study cadences and snap counts and anticipate snap counts and see different things maybe than they've seen in the past. His get off is better, but I think all of them want to get off is better because they're able to anticipate some snap counts. They're able to anticipate based on body position, based on motion, timing things up, and he's done a great job with that. I think that's improved his stuff. I think some things from a run pass pre-snap tells standpoint has helped him. But I think there are several factors that come in, and I think number 1, he's healthy. Number 2, I think we've taken some rocks out of his pocket and allowed him to play faster, which is huge.
That's sort of the theme across the board, though.
That's what our goal is.
Yes, they're all they're playing lighter in mind, looser in mind, the body change.
If we've got guys who can wreck games, we're going to give them opportunities to wreck games.
Another question, just piling on Jabari, but he spoke to us about how much his family needs, specifically just the women in his life. Is that something that you guys have kind of talked about that? Because I understand that's a really important support system.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous group of people in his life, and we don't get to see them as often as we'd like to. They are continually involved with him. Part of it, he's had some things happen over the last 6 months that he needed that support, and they've been there for him every step of the way. that's the beauty of this place, is it attracts a certain type of person. And this is a perfect fit for Jabari and his family, and we're all reaping the benefits of him playing really good football right now.
Coach, with bringing in Josh Harris from Ole Miss, how important has he been to the development of Travis? Coach Brown was talking about how much weight Travis has lost, and that's allowed him to, rotate in for more plays. How do you see those two work together?
Well, the thing with Josh, it's so great to have a grown man in the room, right? He's married, he has two young children, and he's very, very mature. And because he's got his life in a place that it's pretty level most of the time, he doesn't have the peaks and valleys that a lot of young people do. So his example that he sets in keeping the priorities in the right order has been huge for all of them. And Travis has always seen that, but the clock is ticking on all of us. So Travis knows that if he's going to do it, what better time than right now? So it's great to see the maturity in all of our people ramp up, but it's especially great to see those guys that have real talent like Travis Shaw be able to translate the things he's learning in the meeting room and the things that he's learning just by observing a guy like Josh, how he operates, how he goes about his business every day, how he handles things that are not the main thing, and he still is able to keep the main thing. I think those are all things that have impacted Travis in the way that he approaches his daily operations, daily life. I'm really thrilled with Josh this year, and I think just by the way he has impacted the entire room, everybody can take the feedback saying that because they've got somebody that they can count on all the time.
With Travis's weight loss, how different has he seen, not just physically, but just as a person, as a football player?
It looks great when he walks in the room, doesn't he? It's so different than what it's been. I think he's truly focused on being the player that everybody expects him to be. The weight loss is something that I think going through some things and being a little bit up and down from an injury standpoint, it kept him from doing some of those things. But Amber up there in the cafeteria has done an amazing job keeping her thumb right on top of him and make sure that his goals have become her goals. And when that happens and everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction, you got a chance. And everybody's pulling the Travis Shaw rope in the same direction. So I know that he is a kid that has really high expectations of himself, and he sees those other veteran players that are every day, the business of football is a top priority to them. It just makes sense that it will be a Travis as well. And I couldn't be happier with where he is right now mentally. I know that he's still not where he wants to be physically, but he sure is happy he's not where he used to be.
Just to put on the context of the weight loss, and we see like the, January leagues and now,
Right.
been around a lot of football. Like, how drastic is that in context of what you've seen over your career?
I think that it's drastic in the respect that he can go longer. He can play better for longer stretches. Travis was a flash guy before, right? He'd go out there, he'd have 1 or 2 snaps, and then we'd have to get him off the field. He's not that way anymore. He's playing more and more snaps each week, which is what we hope to continue. Drastic, he looks drastically different on the hoof than he did before, but I still think he's the same kid and he still wants to be great, and that part of it, as he's committed to that. He knows that I can't be what I want to be unless I'm in good enough shape to play more than 5 snaps in a row.
That's obviously been part of a lot of conversations with him. Now he is down there for 329, we were told Sunday. A, is that the ideal weight, or is there still more to go down? And B, has he talked about, man, I see the benefits of being so much stronger now, here's exactly why, which is going to further entrench him into understanding and stay that way.
I think what happens is people focus on that number, the body weight number, and I think that as I spoke with him right from the beginning in March, it wasn't about what you weigh, it's about how you play, and I think Travis bought into that. He knew that he couldn't play the way he needed to play. He couldn't practice the way he needed to practice and improve and train the way he needed to train until he got some of that excess weight off. He is totally committed to being as good as he can be, and that's a he had a great game Saturday. Great game. It was productive, it was disruptive, it was played a number of snaps that we're starting to break through some barriers with him, and the more of those we break through, the more we'll see what he can be.
We'll finish up with that.
Thank you. Johnson and J. Ron Harvey now with Cayman out for a couple of weeks, and just how is that whole situation looking for you and what you're trying to impress upon him and get him to do?
All right, we're trying to make sure that those two guys have a chance to play beautiful football down in and down out. I think the problem with some guys is they just don't have the experience. The way we've trained them throughout all of spring and throughout all of fall camp allowed them to play really well in the game on Saturday. We still now we get to the point where we're not painting by numbers anymore, and we get to start creating some different things with them. Trying to get them to have the confidence to know that, hey, I'm a really good football player and I can go out and I can change plays and change games. Yeah, it's unfortunate that Ruck's going through the injury, but we've talked about this 1,000 times. It's a thread that runs through the program. It's the next man up attitude, right? It's building depth. These are still young players that have a really bright future, and I can't wait to work with both of them moving forward. I know that we know what Cayman Rucker is. We know how valuable he is, but this is a great opportunity to find out what we have moving forward beyond 2024, and those two players are going to be a big part of what we do.
Because the injury to Cayman was late in the week last week, you're finding out on Friday that, oh crap, this is happening. As you turn the corner into this week, do you need to, or have you had any sort of like sit down with those two guys, Jay, Ron, and Tyler, and say like, all right, look, here's where we are and here's where we've got to go and stuff.
We're really honest with our guys in the meeting room every single day. We practice them in a way that they're all prepared to play in the game. I don't practice, the starters don't get 80% of the reps, and the other 14 of them are fighting for the 20. It's not that way. I try to balance those out as best I can so they're all prepared, because you never know when somebody's going to break a chin strap and they're going to put somebody else in the game. So I haven't had to have the sit down, hey, I'm handing you the baton and I run with it, because they believed that from the very beginning that, okay, this is my job as the understudy to one of the best players in college football, to be prepared at a moment's notice to go in there and play like a starter. When you trot out there with that NC logo on your helmet, there's a certain standard that he has to live up to, that those two guys have to live up to, that they all have to live up to, that I have to live up to, and they're totally bought into holding up that standard.
All right. Thanks, Ted.